Hey guys, the Ultimate Filmer here, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing some Ant-Man effects. Well, just one actually. We are going to shrink like Ant-Man. So the first thing you're going to do for this effect is have your camera locked down on a tripod, or like somewhere where it's not going to move. And then all you have to do is take a video of your actor on the screen, and then make sure not to move the camera, keep recording, but this time move the actor off the screen so that it's just a clean plate. Also for this tutorial you're going to need PowerDirector or Photoshop or something that can like remove a background and separate a person from the background. But today I'm going to show you how to do it in PowerDirector because I don't have any other programs for that. Okay, so once you're in PowerDirector, you just want to have your clip on the timeline, and once it's there, just trim it so that there's a part where the actor is on screen, like I said earlier, doing what they're doing, and then it switches to the part where there is no one there. So I'm just gonna leave a little bit of space at the beginning before I shrink. So there we go, now it's all trimmed up and stuff. So there's this clip, about half a second, and then it switches to nothing there, so it should in theory just look like I've disappeared. Okay, so now we're gonna head to the last frame of the clip with the actor, and by doing this you can just make sure you've selected the clip and make sure the clip is on here, and just keyframe until you're at the last frame. There we go, and then click this little camera icon, it says take a snapshot, so we're gonna do that. Just call it whatever you want and save it, and it should automatically import it into the library. So here it is. So now we are going to go to where we were, head back just one frame, split it, and delete that part. So now, of course, there's 15 frames in this video and there were 16 before. And now we can just insert the snapshot. It'll ask you for all these, so we're just going to click insert. But if you have more clips below and stuff, you can just click insert and move all clips. So before we do anything to this is the part where we go into PowerDirector. So we're going to right click on the snapshot, edit video image, and edit in PowerDirector. So if you have another program you can do this in, like Photoshop or something else for example, you can just find the snapshot in your computer and then edit it from there and re-import it into PowerDirector. But I like the way PowerDirector works because you can just, of course, like right click on the clip and import it directly into PowerDirector and click back straight away, and it'll save all the changes you've made. And so once you're here, you're going to make sure you're on edit and extract or compose. Background removal now, and it should look something like this. For the most part I'm just going to use intelligent until it becomes unintelligent, and it won't work anymore probably around certain parts like here, because it's hard to tell edge differences. And like in other tutorials, I've shown you how to just select the areas that your actor is not in, or the area that your actor is in, but it depends on which one you select afterwards. Personally, for no apparent reason, I just like to select where the actor isn't. So I think it's actually done a pretty good job, but there are still some things to fix. So it's gone over my shoulder here, so we can just click on the erase brush and select those areas. And don't forget small areas like this, because they can make a difference. And there we go, looks like we have everything else selected besides me. So let's go remove selected area. So in the case that you would have selected only your actor, you could click remove unselected area, since we're removing the background. And we're just gonna click apply, and I think that looks pretty good. So we're gonna click back and yes. So now it should look like this. So what we want is to have the snapshot over top of the clip where there is no one. So we're gonna drag it down onto the second track And we can just drag this one up until it's attached with this clip. Just to align them better, because it looks like I'm teleporting currently, we are going to drag this a frame back and edit it from that frame. So we can just drag and match them. And you can even adjust the size because it might be different. So there, I think that looks pretty good. I think they match a little bit, so they match enough anyway. So now it'll look more like that. Okay, so now we can shorten this clip to about 3 frames long. I'd say 3 or 4. Okay, so this, I'm gonna keep this as 4 frames long. So we are gonna double click on this snapshot or go into designer, PIP designer. So from here we're gonna click position and scale. And on these first keyframes, I'm actually gonna start it off a little bit smaller already. And then if we go all the way to the end, we can click position and scale again. So I'm gonna make me just like that big, and then move the position to be off the screen. Okay, so now we're just gonna add a tiny bit of motion blur. We're not gonna edit any of the parameters. And we can just click OK. Excuse me for the lag, because you know what, I don't know why it's happening. But it should look something like this. Of course, maybe a little bit less laggy. So now we're just gonna copy it, Control C, or right click and copy. And we're gonna go below it, skip 1 frame ahead. And so on this track we can click paste. We're just gonna go into designer, PIP designer on this next snapshot copy. Go into motion and take away motion blur. So I consider the first snapshot as like the actual person, and the ones we're gonna make after are like the delayed versions of himself or whoever it is. So look, it should look very strange right now. That's because it is. So now just go into your transitions tab up here, either in general or you can just search it in all content. And we're gonna drag the fade onto the second snapshot. And of course already it's taken up the entirety of this clip, so we're just gonna drag it to about there so it only takes up those amount of frames. So if you scroll through it, it should look like this. And I imagine it probably looks weird right now on the first frame of the second snapshot because there's a blurred guy behind the solid guy. So what we're gonna do is click on the second snapshot, make sure you have it selected, and see this little green opacity bar. We're just gonna drag it to about 46%, and there we go. So now we're gonna copy, we're gonna Control C this second snapshot, not the first one, because the first one is now different from the second one, and we're just gonna paste it in the next track and move it yet another frame past the second one now. So it should look like some sort of stairway of snapshots. And this one you can make with even less opacity. Actually, bring this one up a little bit more so there's just a little bit more of a difference in between them. And we're gonna copy this one again, or the second one, because now it doesn't matter. And we're gonna paste it below, moving it 1 frame past, making that staircase. And you can lower the opacity even more if you want. So if you scroll through it now, it should look, if you click on movie and go into the next frame, it should look like that. And when you play it back, it'll look like that. So if you want to, you can add another one. It might start to look weird, but you definitely can if you want to. It just creates more of that sort of like delayed effect. Okay, so that looks like it's about it, and you can just add your sound effects now, and whatever else takes place in the scene. I don't know what you're doing with it. So You can of course tweak more of the parameters if you want to, see what fits like your style and what you want to do with it. And here's one more final look at it. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and commenting what you want me to do a tutorial on next. And if you really feel like it, perhaps subscribing, because that's just great. And I'll see you all later. Bye!